what's up, guys? Welcome back to Kevysie Fate. This is my season two premiere, guys. Oh my God, I'm on the freaking second season of my podcast, and of course, I'm about to start this season off with a bang because this is a special episode because I titled it "The Kevysie Fate Nightclub" because I got my brother from another mother, Travis from the Nightclub podcast, on my show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's a great evening to be spending with you, my friend.
Man, hell yeah, brother. I'm like, I know we've been planning this for a while, but things happen, like between schedules and everything.
hmm
Man, but for the audience that don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself, man. I'm like, I know you, but tell us, tell the audience about you, man.
Well, first and foremost, I guess I'd proudly pimp that I'm a Cajun from Louisiana, live in our state's capital, Baton Rouge, and also a father and a husband. Excuse me, ex-husband. Drama. No, but I've also been doing, as you're aptly titling this episode, a podcast called The Nightclub for 7 years. And it's a horror-centric podcast where we talk about
So,
horror movie breakdowns, trivia. We also sometimes delve into other topics like true crime, cryptids, myths and legends, blah blah blah.
sir.
And if your listeners decide to check us out, just know it's a very hard R podcast. We say really stupid things on purpose because the goal is to try to make each other laugh pretty much, and hopefully by extension the listeners. So take the things we say with a grain of salt and just have fun with it. Is what I'd say. And it's available.
Yeah,
It's available everywhere except YouTube.
yeah, Nightclub podcast. I've been on their show about what, three, four times now. I kind of lost count at this point.
hmm
Each time it has been a blast. Oh my God, the Chucky franchise every first month of the year. We've been doing this since about 2024 now. Yeah, 2024 on the Nightclub podcast. It was an accident at first. 'Cause it started out as a joke when I made that joke on the first episode when I was on their show. It's like we should make this like a yearly thing. And then Travis like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. I'm just
hmm
like, I need to stop saying shit around Travis because he gonna make it real.
Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, every January we've been faithfully doing that, and it has been a freaking blast. And now this time, Travis is in my world here at the Kevysie Fate podcast. So it's a twist turner, I guess, in a way.
It's Western.
I know you've been a horror fan since you were a kid, right? Like, was there like a favorite movie or book that really like kicked rocked you into loving horror so freaking much that you just sprouted into becoming this horror nerd. As I say.
Yeah, definitely
When
horror nerd.
horror fanatic, I put it that way. Horror fanatic. Yeah.
I'll take nerd. I'm good with that. Yeah, the I don't know what the first ever movie was that I liked a lot of scary stuff growing up, but it would be like sort of precursor to horror movies. Like from my age at the time, watching things like The Neverending Story, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, like those types of
Yeah.
movies. Kind of gateway. Those aren't full-fledged horror, but there's dark stuff in
But they're dark fantasies though, so they're close.
them. And
So
then
yeah.
I would say around it was somewhere around the same time. Goosebumps books came first
Yeah.
before like movies. So getting into Goosebumps, you have to earn those read it tickets, go to Pizza Hut and cash those in or whatever, like or Scholastic even. Goosebumps
Yeah, yeah.
books. And then Joe Bob Monster Vision on TNT. I remember watching Troll on there.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
the first movie to feature a Harry Potter before Harry Potter was ever a thing.
Right. Oh my God. Hell yeah, dude.
And then I remember Jason Takes Manhattan being one that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. That opening when he boards that yacht and that lady goes and hides. She goes and hides down below and he does that slow
Yeah.
stab with the harpoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one that blew the
Man, that
doors
was
open,
what part was it? 'Cause there's so many Jason movies. I forgot what part that was.
that was part eight.
Okay, part eight. Okay.
Yeah, and that's probably the first one I saw, at least remember seeing. But the one that actually blew the door open for me when it comes to like diving into horror and being like, I'm for sure a fan of this, is the original Evil Dead.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Freaking love you with that. Hell yeah.
I rented that from a video
Man.
store in Mamu, Louisiana, at the age of like 9 or 10. It's because well, one night me and my dad were up and we watched The Matrix on TV, and then after the movie we were just kind of talking about the movie, and it led from one thing to another, and he started talking about this movie he snuck into the theater to see when he was younger, and he couldn't remember. He's like, I think the name was something like the Evil Dead, and I remember thinking, what a stupid name for a movie.
Interesting.
And that's what I thought then. I don't think it now, but he told me about the trees being alive, and he described the card scene where the girl's facing away from her friends, but she's naming each
Yeah.
card, and that scared me. So I went and rented it from the video store again as a kid, but they let me rent the shit, and yeah.
My God, dude, I remember video stores. Yes, I'm only 26, but I actually grew up on some video stores in my city before they took them down. So that I'm like, I actually experienced that myself a bit. What's about horror that like, keeps bringing you back to it? Like, I've never asked that question. I never asked it before. Like, what brings you back to horror?
I want to see what the creatives involved are going to do next. I want to see I mean, look, I like some tropes and some things. Like I'll watch a certain kind of horror movie and I want, yes, like let's say it's a slasher or a haunted house movie. There's certain
Yeah,
things that you expect kind of as a horror fan or a movie watcher that are going to take place. I want to see how they're going to, take a little, put their own twist on it and make it their own, make it a little bit more original. Or when you find something
oh
that's
yeah,
almost completely original, which is hard to do, but it's still possible. And I guess it's just that you get to vicariously experience death and whatnot without having to actually go through it. So to face a big fear
yeah.
like that and then survive because it's just a movie, like plus it's badass. I don't know.
That is true. That is true. That is very true, man. Like, is there like do you like prefer a specific horror, or you just like horror overall, like supernatural horror, psychological horror, comedy, or like dark fantasy horror, science fiction horror, like all of it, or like there's like a very specific thing you like really look for in horror?
I like certain subgenres more than others, but when it comes if it's a good movie, I will watch any kind of horror movie. But to be specific, I like folk horror, cosmic horror, like witchy shit.
Hell yeah.
I do like some comedy in horror, but I'll dig a horror comedy here or there. Lately, I've been getting more and more into the subgenre of haunted house or ghost movies, something I think I've always
Hell
liked,
yeah.
but didn't really know that I liked it that much until probably about the
Yeah,
last year, and I've been seeking them out pretty much. A
man.
recent good one is Undertone, by the way.
Yeah, it took me a minute to watch Undertone, but it was an interesting concept because I think it was like an original thing that was I sat through it. I know a lot of people talk about horror when they talk about horror movies, they think that some movies rely too much on jump scares and not like they use jump scares like as a filler and not really flowing with the story of the movie.
Hmm.
So what's like your take on constant jump scares? Like, do you think they're being overused or oversaturated with jump scares and not in because you feel like the creative has nothing really an idea to do to make something scary, if that makes sense.
No, I know what you're saying, and yeah, they could definitely be done to death, pun intended. But I think so. I'll give you two examples of some good jump scares to me. Recent movies, Hereditary. If for anyone who's seen it, there's a tongue clicking in the movie that one of the characters does with their mouth. It's a little tongue click. I don't know if the mic's going to pick it up, but it's something like I don't know if
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear that.
yeah.
But there's a jump scare that comes in Hereditary that I'm not going to say when or where, but it happens so perfectly that it is one of those effective and it's part of the story jump scares. Another good one
Hmm.
I believe this is the first Conjuring where they play the clap game to sort of like find where the kids are in the house. I think it's the first
Yeah, I think
Conjuring.
yeah, that's the first one. I believe that is the first one. When I first watched it, that actually terrified the hell out of me. Especially when you got to that scene when the closet was behind. Who was playing hide and seek? Was it the dad? I think, or was it the mom?
I don't remember, but yes,
I don't
that
remember who it
little
was.
that little
But
armoire or whatever
uh,
was there back there.
yeah, I'm like that dresser behind that person, that character. I forgot who was playing who. Where it was like say knock knock or something, and you see the hands like
Mm.
I was like, oh, stop! Like what the heck?
Or
I was like, okay, that scared me right there.
see, Insidious is another one where yes, there's a lot of jump scares, but I feel like that movie is so
Ooh,
well done.
yes,
One of the most iconic jump
yeah.
scares of my
My God.
movie watching experiences from Insidious whenever Patrick Wilson is looking across the table. I forget the lady that's in,
Oof,
but
yeah,
but that demon is right behind her all of a sudden.
right behind him. Oh my God, dude! I was like 10 years old watching that movie when it came out.
Dang.
I was legit 10 years old, and I was not expecting that thing to be behind him. But when his mother looked and the camera pinned over to him, and you see the half of a demon's face, blah, I was like, "Oh my god!" I could not sleep after watching that movie.
That's some
I
scary
was a
shit.
freaking terrified kid. I was like, "Dude, this is freaking crazy!" And then I'm like, and it made it all better. Conjuring and Insidious came out the same time, like
Hmm.
3 years apart. And I'm just like, really, Patrick? Really, bruh? Really?
He sort of
Man,
became,
I think that Insidious and Conjuring were like my first movies that actually like really terrified me. And then I grew up and started loving it, and I really wanted more horror. And Haunting in Connecticut also terrified me. I was like 9 years old when it came out. I think I was like 9 years old when it came out, and I was like, that's like I slowly starting to get into horror from those movies. And my mom like wanted me to stay away from it because she didn't want all that darkness inside of me, as she puts it. Of course, I still snuck around and watched stuff
oh yeah,
because I'm a freaking yeah, I got curious. And but okay, I was like, that's legit like my horror hide born was kind of started. I was like from Haunting Connecticut to Insidious to Conjuring to Sinister,
mm,
and then Halloween, and then Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Candyman,
mm,
The Thing, hell, even Alien. If I'm
oh
being
yeah,
honest, even Alien.
yeah,
And funny, like the first Halloween movie I actually saw was not the very first one. I saw one of the I think it was either Curse of Michael Myers or Return of Michael Myers. I think it was like my first one. I think actually when I found out about Michael Myers, I heard about him. I was like, what the hell is this Michael Myers character? And so I like researched it, and I saw on like one night on like I think it was like AMC probably.
hmm,
A Halloween movie was playing, but I think it was Curse of Michael Myers because yeah, I don't remember the certain scene, but I think it was Curse of Michael
was
Myers,
Paul Rudd in
and
it, and then he
then
beat Michael Myers with a pipe.
yeah, yeah.
That's a curse.
Yeah. That's the curse one. That's the
Yeah,
curse one, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That was when I actually was introduced to Michael Myers, and then I watched the H2O 20 years later, then Resurrection, and then I went back to the other Michael Myers movies.
Oh, wow.
I was like, and then I watched the Rob Zombie versions, and then I was like, okay, this is what I keep hearing about that people love this so freaking much.
Hmm.
And I watched all 11, 13, or Friday the 13th, however many it was. I was like, my favorite one was the first one because it was unpredictable to me when I first watched it. I was like, but of course, my curiosity got the best of me. I want to watch the entire thing just to see how it goes. I was like, and I'm like, dude, why am I continue watching? Because each time it kind of gets really stupid. And like, especially when he comes back to life and just start randomly killing people.
Yeah.
So
Zombie
you telling me
Jason,
this
dude.
dude has been underwater, gets zapped by lightning, comes back to life, and kills two random people having sex on the boat, and then walks underwater in Manhattan. And just like, what the crap? And then we get to Jason Goes to Hell, or Jason X, whatever it was. Jason X, it's like years later, a scientist eats his brain,
That,
and
yeah.
Jason takes over his body.
It's
I'm like,
it's the next.
what?
That's part nine. That's a
That's
mortician.
part what?
Part nine.
Part nine. Okay, I lost track. I lose track of numbers. I just know the scenes that kind of just got me.
Yeah,
But
it's
that,
this mortician. He's like staring at the heart on a table, and it's like some force
yeah,
just possesses him to take some gnarly little bites out of it. And yeah, part nine.
that was
Part nine's
that was something else.
it's a good body horror movie. I wouldn't necessarily. Well, it's also got Creighton Duke in it, the bounty hunter, and he's pretty messed up. He's got this one line in the movie where he's like, "You know what I think of Jason Voorhees? When I think of Jason Voorhees, I think of a little girl in a pretty dress sticking a hot dog into a donut or some shit like that." It's like, what are you doing, movie?
Yeah, that was weird. That was freaking weird. But then I got to Freddy versus Jason. I had a blast watching Freddy versus Jason. That was a good freaking movie. Like I wasn't expecting that they would cross over very well, but the way they wrote that movie, I think was actually pretty well done.
Yeah, I've heard
And
people
also how
complain
they
about it, but I'm like, what else
like
are you gonna do?
well, you can't really do much with those characters.
I liked it a lot. I saw that in the theater when it came out.
Nice.
Yep.
I was something. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was a baby when they came out. I think they came out like 2003, I think it was, right?
Yeah. 2003.
Yeah, I was like 3 or 4 years old.
So
Yeah, so I
you
didn't see that till
you
I thought I got older.
you pulled a prank on me then, sir.
I definitely Frankie.
You pulled a prank on me because you told me one time that you were like 40.
I did not.
You you
I
mu
probably was just
you must have been
unless I
joking.
was making a joke.
But
Yeah, I was joking,
I
dude. I wasn't serious, man.
so you're 26.
Yeah, I'll be 27 in September.
Okay, I'm about to be 37 in a few days.
I know it is. I was saying people think I'm that older because how I carry myself.
I must have mistook it for you were actually saying that you were that old.
No, no, when I was making a joke, I said people think I'm older than I actually am because how I carry myself. I legit tell people I'm in my 20s. People think I'm like my 40s or something, and the other people think I'm like 18 or 16. I was like, thank you, that's a compliment for me. Well, I think I was talking. I'm just an old soul. I was like, but no, I'm only in my late 20s right now. So, but yeah, man. But yeah, I fell in love with the Evil Dead franchise from with Ash to
Hmm.
what it is now. Man, I'm so excited for Evil Dead Burn to come out July 10th, man. Like, it looks freaking beautiful. But like that was me blabbering though. I talked about my favorite movie so far, kind of. What's like your favorite top 5 movies of all time for you?
Mm.
Not just in general, not just this year, but just in general.
Yeah, original Evil Dead from 81, original Texas Chainsaw from 74, Signs from 2002. Oh, man, see after that it kind of goes like I could throw out. I mean like Child's Play, Hellraiser,
Hell yeah.
Freddy
Oh my
versus
God, hell
Jason,
yeah. Hell yeah.
Rosemary's Baby. Like there's a lot of it's
Dude, I forgot about Rosemary's Baby. My God, yes.
there's a lot of them.
Man,
It just depends on, I mean, because I think yeah, we did do an episode a while back, I think it was our top 20, but that might have been only on Joe Blow Horror Show. I do another podcast with a friend of mine, Boss Tuna, who lives in Iowa. And I believe we did a
nice.
top 20 favorite horror movies of all time on there. So I'd have to kind of pull that list up. But definitely, I always will say that Evil Dead Part 1 and Texas Chainsaw Part 1, those are just classics for me. I watched the first Texas Chainsaw growing up too, and it felt naughty. It felt like something you're not
Yeah.
supposed to see. You know, it felt like a documentary almost, gritty, raw, just visceral.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of horror movies have been missing lately. It's like that's bring that gritty and raw emotion back to it, especially like this modern era of movies.
This new movie
Like,
that's,
cause I watched the entire Texas Chainsaw franchise from the original to the updated to each update they brought out. It's like the first one is still the best one.
oh yeah,
Like the first one's still the best one. That cannot be topped whatsoever. It's like even though they tried to connect like the Netflix one to the original, it still did not feel the same
mm-mm.
at all.
Although that bus kill, the bus scene was
But,
really
but
good though.
dude, that was insane. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the only reason I still rewatch it is because of that scene. I'm not going to lie. It's because of that freaking scene. They
Of that
actually did
scene.
not hold back on that scene.
Mm.
And I was like, this is why I don't trust to go on a bus to like small towns.
Especially not that downtown. They have questionable flag choices in that town. But
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
but
And then,
so
but
the
yeah,
I was gonna
I
say
was
the
like,
Evil Dead remake from not remake, it's not a remake, but the one from 2013, Freddy Alvarez, that one did a really
yeah,
good
that
job
one, dude,
of
you
recapturing that
replicate the original.
grit and the rawness. Yeah.
Yeah, he replicated the original to the T. And I was like, but he also had his own flair to it too at the
Hmm.
same time.
Yep.
I was like, but Modern Evil Dead, that one's by far the best one.
Yep.
If
So
I'm
far,
being
yeah.
honest. I mean, Evil Dead Rise, don't get me wrong, I still love Evil Dead Rise, but the 2013 one,
That
man,
movie's
I still go back and watch that one.
that movie is evil. It's evil.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally. My God, dude.
I could give you
Like,
some hot takes that
man.
your listeners might be surprised by.
Hey, shoot it to us, man.
I'm not a big Exorcist person. Don't really care for that movie that much. Not throwing shade at it. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. I think it deserves its praise and everything else like that. But your listeners who do know horror will probably be like, what? And it's one of those movies. I'll watch it every once in a while to try to like connect to it and get something out of it that I never saw before. Doesn't
Yeah.
happen. And another hot take for your listeners: if you ever heard of the movie Skinamarink, huge fan of that movie, loved it, but I totally understand why people think it's boring as hell.
I keep hearing so much about that one. I have not made my rounds to that one
Good luck. Really,
yet. I have not made my rounds to that one
it's really slow. If it's like a shot of a corner of a room for like 3 minutes straight, and then the shot of a floor for like 5 minutes, and then
yet. Lord Jesus.
yeah, yeah. But if you could somehow get sucked into the atmosphere and the vibe of what that movie's doing,
Hmm.
it's incredible. Like I watched it 5 times total, and I'm good. I'll probably never watch it again because it got to a certain point to where like the movie was making me cry. Not out of fear, more out of
Yeah.
fear for the characters in it. But if you ever see it, you'll see what I
Interesting.
mean. I don't want to spoil that.
Interesting. I definitely gotta check that one out. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's
Also,
interesting. Okay.
I'm looking forward to. There was another movie that came out around the same time as Skinamarink, same beginning of the year in 2023, called The Outwaters by Robbie Banfitch. That movie is like a nightmare put on camera.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one.
And his newest movie, Tinsman Road, is available on Letterboxd at the time of this recording. You can go rent it on there. It's a steep price for a rental. It's $20, but that's where it's at right
Jesus
now.
Christ.
Yeah.
So that's a physical price.
Oh, no doubt. Well, yeah, you should just get a copy mailed to you if you're gonna go rent it for that much. But you gotta,
Jesus Christ.
it's at least it's somewhere for now because it came out last year at some festivals, but I guess it took a while for them to figure out what they were exactly gonna do with that movie. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it because of his first movie.
All right then. I'm like, you keep adding lists, like movies to my list I have not covered off yet. So I have a long list to catch up on. I was like, not a long list, but just something you start kind of like got bypassed me, basically.
It happens. I mean,
Like, because I work a lot and everything, so I'm like, I catch a lot of things, but then there's some stuff I still miss.
mhm,
But with 2026, I want to get like back to this year's movies so far have been very interesting because in the Obsession, I saw so many good reviews about it when it first came out, and like I've seen like the hype about it. I'm like, I don't listen to reviews purposely because I don't want to go in with no type of expectation.
mhm,
But and then of course I still saw the bad reviews. I'm like, it's overhyped, blah 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 blah, and like people just trashing it, calling it trash and stuff. I was like, you're not giving any constructive feedback. You're just saying it's trash. That really tells me nothing. I'm like, I think you're just hopping on a trend just to complain about something. So I'm not listening to you. And so my first watch, I watched it and I was like, okay, I can see why it seems overhyped in a bit. And I was like, okay, but I'm like, but then I watched it again recently. I was like, okay, I've seen something different than I did not see the first time. I was like, then that's where I kind of start to understand the hype around it because one, there is a huge metaphor message in that movie when you decipher that movie from beginning to end. And I made this joke to you legit last night while we was hanging out. Wait, but I'm not it was with you or somebody else. But I was like, Obsession is legit a movie to show you the definition of what a nice guy
oh
is.
yeah, you told me that. That was last night.
Okay, that was
Yep.
that was love. I think that was last night. I was like, this is why I never say that I am a nice guy. I was like, I am a reserved old soul that observes that like observe everything. I'm like, but I would never ever say I'm a nice guy because obsession legit shows you what a true nice guy is
Hmm.
because they seem innocent, but they have deep motives within them that they're basically hiding from you. And so I was like, at first I said it was a 7 for me, but then after watching it again, I'm gonna have to give Obsession like a more like an 8 or a 9
Hmm.
when I'm like deep diving into it and everything. And I was like, dude. And then I found out the director is my age. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah,
Like,
Larry Barker.
whoa, this dude is 26 years old. Like, wow. And then turn around, Backrooms comes out by a 20-year-old director. I'm just like, interesting. We're getting some fresh faces up in this industry now.
Kane Parsons,
And then they both were freaking box office successes.
big time.
I'm like, dude, they took a risk and look what's happening. This is Hollywood, this is what people are craving. Something new, something fresh. And I was
Well,
like, bro, I'm like, I haven't seen Backrooms just yet, but I'm going to watch that at some point when I get the chance. But it looks very good, and I've heard a lot of hate about it. But when I look at it, it looks like a very complex movie, and
it
I was
is.
like, okay, I can see why people probably hate it because they probably don't understand it.
Yeah. Yep. There's definitely that.
Well, I think you saw Backrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw both of them in the theater that we're talking about.
Nice.
And not that financial success is some kind of indicator of originality or creativity, but I did see this interesting factoid the other day. Obsession has crossed The Exorcist at the box office. So The Exorcist had like $233 million box office back in the day. Obsession has catapulted beyond that. Again, not throwing shade. I'm just saying like that's one of those movies where the hype is it's real. It's real for that movie. And I was blown away by it when I saw it in the theater, creeped out. Also humor, a lot of humor in it that I didn't expect.
Oh, that's interesting, really.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil what happens in it because it's still so new, but and we're not doing a review of it, but yeah. I also saw They Will Kill You. That movie is going kind of under the
Dude,
radar.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
I freaking love that movie.
that movie's great. It's like Kill Bill meets Devil Hotel or something. Like it's so damn good. I think it's on HBO Max
Agreed.
right now.
Yeah, that's where I watched it, I believe.
Same.
Yeah, I think that's where I watched it I watched it on my HBO Max, and I freaking had a blast watching it. I was like, it was something I was not expecting. I'm like, I love the actress who was in it. I was like, but I knew it was gonna be like a slasher type of movie, but I wasn't expecting that what I saw, which made it even better.
Yeah, Zazie Beetz does the damn thing in that
And then
movie.
also she does. And then also with The Exorcist, I'm actually with you on The Exorcist too. I was like, oh, I'm like I've heard so many people talking about it's such a classic and everything. And I looked at it, I was like, cool. It's like it's all right, I guess.
It
And
just
then I watched
yeah.
Exorcist Believer, which and it's like, oof, geez, that movie was rough.
I'm not even gonna give it the time of day. I haven't seen it and I don't plan on.
You're not missing anything. And I remember and I watched the Fox show, The Exorcist. I fell asleep on it. I was like, dude, this is boring.
There was a show.
Yeah, it was a 2016, I think it was, maybe 2017, I think it was. The
Hmm,
thing had like two seasons of it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it until the show was over. So I think around that time I was watching Sleeper Hollow, so I didn't even know Exorcist was a show. So,
Well, they also
but
had
yeah, it was a show. I think
a Scream show that I completely went under my radar. I never saw.
you never saw the Scream show,
Yeah, the Scream show. Yeah,
dude. The first two seasons are fantastic.
never heard. I'd never
The
heard of
third
it.
season was a whole completely thing. Scream the Steven season was actually pretty good for the first two seasons, but the third season was crap because they didn't finish off the story from the first two seasons, which pissed off everybody.
Mm,
But
kind of like the
yeah,
movies.
it was. But the first two seasons, yeah, pretty much. But the first two seasons were fantastic. I wish they finished it. But I still go back and rewatch it just to remember how I felt about it because I still have fun watching the first two seasons. And that was like the glory days of MTV between Teen Wolf and the Scream first two seasons. I had a blast watching MTV.
Yeah, they did a Teen Wolf one too, huh? Dang. Yeah, I'm missing all of
Yeah,
that stuff.
Teen Wolf ooh, excuse me, sorry. Teen Wolf had six seasons from 2011 to 2016.
Wow.
And then they came back with the Teen Wolf movie back in 2023.
Good Lord. Yeah, I know nothing about any of that.
Well, yeah, I definitely recommend Teen Wolf and the Teen Wolf movie.
I'm a big
But
fan
yeah,
of the
Teen
one
Wolf
from
was
'85,
fantastic from beginning to end.
the one with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, yeah,
Get me
yeah.
a
I love that
peg
one too.
of
Oh my
beer.
God. Yeah, man. And like also like what's it like what's in your opinion of a horror movie that you think would be a good remake?
One that wasn't very well made the first time. Instead of trying to remake like all of these movies that were already successful, and I kind of get it, it's a successful IP, so you want to make your money back. But I would say remake something that
Right.
wasn't very successful. Like there was this movie that has this really cool premise from the '80s called Neon Maniac, and if like hand this to Joe Bagos, the guy that made Bliss and Christmas, Bloody Christmas, DFW. Like, give him Neon Maniacs to remake. Let him throw his style on it. That would be a good one to redo. Also, a remake of a 1980 Indonesian horror film. We've covered it on the Nightclub, but if you would put it in the hands of somebody and they would do it like a serious folk horror, like Robert Eggers style, I'd say Mystics in Bali would be a really cool one to do. So yeah, probably movies that people haven't heard of, but
Interesting.
yeah, that I would go that route with a horror movie versus like, oh, let's remake Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, that's Black Phone 2. You already got it. Chill out. Like, we don't need Freddy's Freddy, and Freddy is Robert England done hung it up, man. We're good. You saw what happened the first time they
Yeah,
tried to do it.
yeah. We do not talk about that one. I hated that one so much.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about that one.
It's so freaking. I'm good. I'm good.
What would you
If you
like
could
to
spend
see?
one day on
Oh,
a, a remake I want to see, oof,
and
that's
if you say
hard.
if you say Nightmare, that's fine.
Nah, no, we already got that. Like you said, that's Black Phone 2. We're good with that one.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It is a little bit of a tough,
Yeah, I'm saying because there's so many good classics. I don't want to. I don't want to see a remake of.
and yet they do it anyway.
Right. Jesus Christ. Okay. If I could choose, jeez, that is a hard question to really answer.
Because it's almost like
Because
they've done
honestly,
all the
I
big
really
ones.
don't. Yeah, I don't really want another remake. If I'm being honest, I really don't want another one. I just want something new and original now. I was like, I don't even want any more remakes. I'm like, if we, I'm like, I think you could like maybe expand the franchise, like to do something new with it, if you want to, maybe. But then again, that's still kind of sort of a remake at the same time. So it's like,
Sometimes it is successful.
not,
Like 2003 Texas Chainsaw was pretty damn good. We already talked about the 2013
yeah,
Evil Dead being pretty damn good. Sometimes
yeah.
it is Halloween Kills, although not a remake. It's actually like a sequel to the
It
original.
was
But
yeah,
yeah, but that movie was fire.
yeah, yeah. That was pretty good. I like that
When
one.
I watched that, so I grew up watching all the Halloweens. When I watched Halloween Kill, I was like, this is the Michael Myers people are scared of. This is the version of Michael Myers that everyone's always kind of talked about existing, but I've never seen him in a movie.
Yeah,
That movie nailed
yeah.
scary, relentless, evil Michael Myers. That scene where, minor spoilers, that scene where he is picking every knife from the knife block in the kitchen and stabbing the guy
Stabbing the body.
just to see which one
I
he
was
liked the
like, the
best.
dude already dead.
Well, he was testing knives. He had to find his favorite knife. I'm like, this is crazy,
And
man.
then he finally grabbed one and took it with him. I'm like, oh my God.
Hmm.
I was like, I probably should not be laughing that he's stabbing a dead body right now that he just killed.
It's like
But
trying
the
on the
way
right
he
pair of
stabbed,
shoes. You gotta know it's got to fit right, you know.
but yeah, the 2018 Halloween and Halloween Kills were freaking awesome. It was like Halloween ends.
I even like
Gee,
that one.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
I like that one.
I was like, I like Halloween ends too. A lot of people hated it. I was like, it was different. That's why I liked it. Like that one too. I'm like, they went a different route with it.
I'm Team Corey
Even though it
Cunningham.
was kind of weird. It was kind of weird when Michael Myers got his first kill, like however many years they did the time jump, but he had an orgasm after doing that first stab. I was like, this nigga breakdancing. I was like, what the heck? I was like, what the heck? I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, but I'm like, I liked it. I know a lot of people hated it, but I was like,
Everybody,
people just nowadays just want to hate stuff to hate it. Like, come
everybody
on, guys,
except
come
me and
on,
you
really?
hated it. That's pretty much.
Right. My God. But yeah, I'm like people just hate to hate these days, and it's really just sad. You know what I mean?
Just want to be negative.
But if you could like spend a day, like if you could spend a day on like a horror movie set, what movie would it be and why?
Oh, it would have been it would have been the original Evil Dead. I know a lot about how that movie was made and stuff.
Of course.
So to be on set with Sam Raimi and the crew, like throwing blood at the wall and
Oof.
operating, dismembered limbs from under the floorboards, and yeah, that
Yeah.
would have just been fun. One day, not the whole shoot, because that whole shoot was miserable. But if I could, and actually, it would have been a night because they shot at night. So Nightclub,
Hey. Yeah. Nightclub. I mean, this is where Nightclub was born.
yeah, dude, pretty much. That was the first episode of the
Oh,
show, is me talking about that movie.
of course it was. Of course it was. Man. And I know I'm like we doing a series on Child's Play every year.
Hmm.
That's the other one of my favorite movies is this Child's Play franchise. I'm like, it keeps getting better each time even just been with 3 decades now. He's been doing Child's Play now.
Hmm.
And it was like he came from Child's Play 1, 2, was it 1, 2, 3, then Bride, or was it 1, 2? I keep forgetting how it went.
It was
But
one,
even like
two,
from all
three.
these movies to a TV show.
One, it was one, two, three, Bride,
Yeah,
Seed,
2, 3,
Curse,
Pride,
Cult, and then the show.
into the show. I'm like, dude, how, like this is the most consistent franchise I have ever watched. That's why I keep coming back to it.
It definitely is.
And I'm just like, dude, I have never seen a show or like a franchise so consistent like Chucky. Like,
That one,
dude, even like with the casting change, like it's insane.
I would say that in quality wise, even though the story sometimes is a little wonky here and there,
Yeah,
but Evil Dead is the other one that's so consistently good.
yeah, yeah. My God, dude. I'm like, this is how you can, this is how you not milk a franchise as long as you have that continuity and consistency. I'm like, don't turn into Fast and Furious where you just do random ideas and just throw it out there.
Evil Dead in
I was
space.
like, and
It's
then do some random stuff.
dude, I'm there for Evil Dead in space. I'm there for it though.
I mean, that actually might be funny though to see that. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest,
They're-
Evil Dead in
So
space,
like
like that actually might actually be funny. I think Sam Raimi would make that work
they're trapped
somehow.
on the International Space Station, and they get this broadcast from down on the Earth because some Deadites took over a studio. Not a studio, I mean the like NASA headquarters, and they start reading off
Mm.
the book to where the people up in space get possessed too. So now they're like, fighting the Deadites up there. One of them could punch a hole in the hull, and everything starts getting sucked out. Yeah, dude, I'm with that.
Dude, that now that could be an Evil Dead Alien crossover event.
Oh Lord,
Now I'm thinking about it. The
Deadites
Deadites
Xenomorph.
versus yeah,
That would be incredible.
the Dead of Night. Yeah, that would actually be a really good thing to. I'm like Sam Raimi, can you and Ridley Scott do a crossover, Evil Dead Alien movie show or something? Because that would actually be very interesting to watch. I would freaking sit down and watch that.
Well,
That would
Disney
be freaking fun.
Disney owns
But
an Alien franchise. I don't know what else they own, so they might, through some branch of owning studios, also own the Evil Dead property. I really don't know. Who's putting that out right now? Is that I don't know what studio's putting that out.
Warner Brothers has Evil Dead.
Okay, are they part of
Warner
Disney?
Brothers has Evil Dead.
I don't know.
No, they're not. No, Paramount is buying Warner Brothers. Disney owns Fox, which owns Alien.
That's right. That's right. Okay, yeah, that big merger's gonna
Yeah.
happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like because even that the is New Line Cinema, which is owned by Warner Brothers, I believe.
Ooh, what horror icon
Yeah,
crossover would you like to see? Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator style. What two icons would be good? A good clash for each other.
Chucky and Megan.
That would be good, and that's been talked. That idea has been bandied about, and kind of realistically too.
So,
That would be cool.
yeah, I'm like that could actually work. I'm like Chucky and Megan. Who else could work?
What about
Shit.
what about
Well, Evil Dead and Alien.
uh, what
I
about
was like because Evil Dead and Alien can work.
what about Leprechaun and Chucky though? The battle of the little guy. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, do you know how many times Chucky gonna be checking that leprechaun and the leprechaun gonna be checking Chucky
Yeah,
in the entire freaking movie?
they could both
I mean,
just
they probably gonna fight each other, and then there'll be a group of friends. They gonna team up and kill kill the group of friends. While they, I think a leprechaun and Chucky will have like the Legolas and dwarf relationship where they're counting how many kills they have.
oh
Testing,
yeah,
make a competition out of it.
I like that. Yeah. They would both be able to
That's
talk
what I
so much
see.
shit.
That's what I see. Yes, yes, exactly.
You'd have one of them.
And then they probably gonna end the movie by fighting each other again just to see who's the most powerful.
Yeah, you got one of them cursing his
So yeah.
ass off, and the other one's speaking in rhyme and shining shoes and shit. Yeah,
But if that ever happens, if somehow the studios combine that together, my lord, I would be crying my eyeballs out, laughing so hard. I'm just like, why does this work so freaking well?
come back one more time, Warwick Davis. Just one more time. We need you. Brad's already
Right,
gonna do the voice, but
this last time.
mhm.
Oh my God, but that would actually be classic. I'm not gonna lie. I think that would make a good box office attraction. And then it's gonna go to the Universal Hollywood Studios at Halloween Horror Nights.
Get chased by Chucky and Leprechaun.
Yeah. I think another one could be Battle of the Clowns, where it's Pennywise and Terrifier.
Ooh, see that one would be interesting because I don't think Art's scared of anything.
Not, I'm like, it isn't either.
But I
I mean,
mean,
that would be very interesting to see
but it like so its power mainly comes from the victim being
from
scared.
fear.
So then he could do
True,
something to
true.
him. So if Art is just like, he's well, he wouldn't say anything. He would just point and mime laugh.
He
But
would just laugh in your face.
yeah,
He would laugh in your face.
But if Pennywise could have his
So
power
yeah,
still and do stuff, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting. It would basically be Art the Clown running a gauntlet through like a nightmare dreamscape and just trying to survive all the weird crap Pennywise could throw at him. It'd be a fever
yeah.
dream. I'd be down with that.
I think that would be a Pennywise Maze Runner type of movie. It's like Pennywise, he's trying to find tricks to get terrified. It's gonna be like a cat and mouse thing. I think it would, if we're being honest about it.
You know,
That's like, I mean, that's gonna be the new Tom and Jerry is Pennywise and terrified.
you could look this up, but Dimension
Oh my god.
owned Leprechaun and I believe it was Dimension. I forget who exactly was the studio, but there was a studio that owned at the same time the Leprechaun franchise and the Candyman franchise. And there were serious talks back in the 90s of doing a crossover between Leprechaun and Candyman. Would it work? No. Do I want to
What
see
the
it?
heck?
Yes. I want to see it just to
That
see
is
it.
an odd combo,
Yeah.
but I would have loved to see how that would work.
It would have been so, what are y'all doing?
Like, how would you cross that? I'm like, but that's gonna have to take some serious creativity to cross those two dynamic characters over to make a really good story make sense. Because that would be hard to do.
You need
I was like, I
Leprechaun
think,
in someplace and somebody else who's saying the Candyman in the mirror 5 times, and we're off to the races some kind of way. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one because Candyman's really a ghost. If you think about it, that's really what he is.
yeah, he really is. I think Candyman and Freddy Krueger might work better.
I agree with
I was like,
the
that would, I mean, they would work better
the
than the
dynamic would make more
Candyman.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can see that happening, but with Leprechaun, not so much.
Mm-mm.
But seeing the battle of Candyman versus Freddy Krueger would actually be dope. That would somehow be dope to see.
Candyman would fill his magical Irish ass full of bees, dude. It would be over with so fast.
God,
Like, yeah, he's a ghost. You can't do shit to Candyman.
you can't. It's like, dude, Candyman has to mind his own business until people put his name in their mouth, and
Yeah,
he had to come click 'em. He had to come click 'em. Well, this is why you leave people's name out of your mouth. That's literally the lesson of the movie Candyman. It's like leave people's name out of your mouth, or you're gonna get got.
that's probably
That's literally the lesson of that franchise.
that's probably Will Smith's favorite horror movie.
Get my wife's name out your mouth.
Yeah, dude. I don't agree with what he did, but he
Oh my
stood on
God.
business. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah, and Chris Rock still being a baby after all these years now. But that was that dude. But Will Smith did what he did. He paid the consequences, but now he's back doing work again. I'm still a fan of him. I'm still loving what he's doing. So,
Yeah, well,
but
he's the kind of
man,
guy, in his own words, that will bite off more than he can chew and then chew it. I don't know if you saw that video.
yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He was doing some kind of rap.
But man, I don't want to hold you too long, brother. This has freaking been fun as hell, man. It's great having you on my show. That's my season premiere. This is the Kevysie Fate Nightclub episode crossover event we never saw coming. But brother, please let us know where we could follow you on socials to keep up with you, brothers. Where we can follow your podcast.
Yeah. We have a link tree that has everything in it. We're on pretty much every social media platform, Instagram, X, the Slasher app for horror fans. If you want to check that out, Facebook, Thread.
My God,
We're not on YouTube. We do have a TikTok that I need to update one day, but I'm kind of bad at doing that. But you can get the podcast on Apple, Spotify, all the places. And my co-host Cody, Ricky, Trevor, I believe they all have a letterbox, as do I. So you could follow us. I think our letterbox links are in the link tree. If not, I'll have to go throw those in there. But I keep up with my letterbox religious. It's a reflex now. Every time I watch a movie, immediately log it, and so people could check out what I'm watching. And this has been
heck yeah,
fun,
man.
man. Thank you for having me.
Heck yeah, man. And guys, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Kevin Davis Official. I'm also on TikTok at Kevisal, which is spelled KEVIRSAL, which is also the same as my YouTube and my website at kevisal.com. And you can find Kevysie Fate podcasts anywhere you watch or listen to podcasts on Spotify, iHeartRadio. I believe I put it on Apple. But it's on YouTube. But anyway, you listen, watch podcasts, check us out, and make sure you follow Nightclub Podcast on Spotify and anywhere you watch podcasts. And you guys, this is Kevin's Fate, and we catch you guys next time.